y'all, it's Stephie and welcome back to my channel. I figured while I'm having my morning smoothie, I might as well go ahead and do my monthly Q&A video. First question comes from Priya S90. Her question is, how long did you switch to industry from the Big Four, and then how long did you stay at your mid-tier firm? So I stayed at the Big Four for 2 years and like 7-8 months. Almost 3 years if you count my internship. I had 1 year of experience as an audit senior before I left the Big Four. I went into industry, I did that for a year, and then I went into the mid-tier firm where I stayed there for 3 years. I left as a manager. I had been a manager for a couple of years at that point. And now I'm in industry. I'm an internal audit manager now. Next question comes from Warhol Cow. Can you do a video about how to get into accounting as a returning student? Like an adult who's been working, has a college degree, has a master's degree in something else other than accounting. At my mid-tier firm, who I had worked with, who had previous experience and had a completely other career life in a different field other than accounting, and who went back into college and went into accounting that way. You'd have to talk to one of the college advisors to see if any of your credits from your other degrees would count towards an accounting degree. If you are a returning student and you've already had a different career outside of accounting, personally from what I've seen is you have to put in as much effort as if this was your very first choice. Joining different accounting societies, different business groups in your college so that you're able to network with accounting professionals. Just like the advice that I give for first-time students going to college, I still think that advice applies. I've seen a lot of firms who take people who are still doing their accounting degree, who had a previous career, and they'll still take them as interns. You still go through the same exact process, in my opinion. If any of y'all have experience in this as well, please chime in the comments below. Go along with all the other advice I have talked about in my previous videos, which I will link in the cards. My biggest advice for those who basically are starting over their career path is the right mindset. This is a completely new ballgame. What I have seen that has made those types of people successful is being humble and being willing to work your way up and to move up based on your merit and not just because you were something in your previous career. Next question comes from Lydia Salerno. How to give notice on quitting to move on to a better opportunity. I think I'm gonna do just a separate video on that because I think it would just be easier for people to find that content if I do something separate. So I will get that up very, very shortly. Splashing Penguin asked, they're starting their internship in a couple of weeks, wondering if there are any tips and advice for students going into their first job. I actually just did a recent Friendly Sisterly advice about this, which I will link in the cards. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. JP Sullivan asked, could you give us some specifics on what exactly staff and senior accountants in industry do for their companies? For example, I know fiscal quarter and year-end are busy times, but what specifically are they in charge of that makes those busy times? Feel like staff and senior accountants are different from when you're in public accounting. I find that when you are a senior auditor in public accounting, you are in charge of people, you're supervising people, you're running the day-to-day. From what I've seen, for the most part, there might be a senior accountant who has like maybe 1 or 2 direct reports. It's more so of your experience and your technical knowledge makes you a senior accountant, so you might still be doing like the day-to-day daily reconciliations and entering business transactions and stuff into your general ledger, and it's more so to show that you have more experience and more knowledge than a staff accountant, and it's not more so of a supervisory role. At least that's what my personal observation in my own experience has been. Staff and senior accountants in industry, if you are in like the general ledger accounting group, in charge of entering journal entries, if you do your allowance for doubtful accounts, looking at, okay, so here's how much we have outstanding for 120 days as of this month, then what's the trend been? Let me identify the specific customers who we think we're not going to get any money back from. Sorry, Juicy's like licking the couch, she's so funny. That analysis that is performed is given to their supervisor, so their manager or controller or whoever is supervising them, and that person will approve it, and then the staff or senior accountant will put that journal entry into the accounting system. This timing is after the last day of the month. And so there's a certain period of time, usually about like a week or two where you have to do all of these analysis. If you're a public company, especially, every quarter you have to issue a 10Q. So that is a public report that goes onto the SEC website that has to be reviewed by your external auditors. So that's why it's busier, is because you have all of these things to do, highly dependent on the business and operations giving accounting all of that information. And sometimes you have to wait for people, and sometimes you have to wait for whatever the reason is. So that's kind of why. I will refer y'all over to my girl, Sarah Marie. She works in industry. I work in industry as well, but I'm on the internal audit side, so my job duties are very different. I'll actually link a video that she talks about a day in the life, and so you'll get more of a feel for accountant in industry does, who actually works with the financial system and not like an auditor like myself. Emily Cortimanchi, I'm sorry, I butchered your name, I'm so bad, I'm sorry. She's asking, do you think 30 years old is too old to start a career in accounting? I have answered this question in a previous Q&A, but I will do a separate video so that it is very easy for people to find this question. Dontrell Thomas asked, I'm currently a college student online for accounting. Would it be a bad idea or difficult to go for my MBA with a concentration in finance instead of accounting? I want to learn more about the finance side, or would it be better to focus strictly on accounting? My goal is to be a partner or a CFO. Specifically, if you want to be a CFO in the future, I definitely think that having finance knowledge would be very beneficial for you. If you want to be a partner, for sure, you need to get your CPA license. You are not going to become a partner at an accounting firm without it. If you do your concentration in finance, just make sure that you have sufficient credits to sit for the CPA exam. Having a CPA and MBA is like a killer combo. Not all CFOs that I have worked with have a CPA license. They definitely have a lot of finance knowledge, which is very crucial for a CFO. You never know what way your career is going to take you, so having an MBA plus a CPA would definitely be helpful. Alex asked, will it hurt me in any way at all if I have a CPA but my bachelor's degree was not related to accounting at all, humanities? From personal observation, I feel like that would not hurt you, because a CPA license really trumps a lot of everything. The fact that your bachelor's is in a different concentration, I'm not gonna say at all. It should not hurt you for the most part. If anything, that'll be a good talking point during your interviews. One of the CFOs that I worked for, he actually had a bachelor's degree in economics, and he had a CPA license. And so knowing that you have a CPA license, you already have all that accounting knowledge. It really doesn't matter what your bachelor's degree was in, because you had to get the appropriate number of accounting hours. Of course, there are some one-off companies or employers or people who prefer having a full-on accounting background. I have seen several other people who have degrees in something else other than accounting. Mari asked, do you think an online accounting degree from an AACSB accredited school like Penn State will get your foot in the door at an accounting firm? I personally have not worked with any people at my firms who did an online degree. I'm very curious about that. You would have to put in a lot more effort to get your foot in the door with an accounting firm, meaning you'd have to network with people, you need to be applying online or getting some experience so that you can apply for an experienced higher position. And I know I've said this before and someone really didn't like my answer, but I'm just being truthful with what I've personally observed. The majority of interns, and I say majority because like literally 90%, if not 95 to 98% of the interns or new hires that my firms hired were people that they met on site at a university that they were recruiting from. Juicy. The way that I saw people who didn't get a job right out of college from an accounting firm, or who didn't go to a school that they were recruiting from, the way that I saw them coming into our firm was as experienced hires, meaning that they had a year or two of experience at maybe a smaller regional firm or some kind of accounting firm, and that's how they got their foot in the door for a mid-tier or a Big Four firm. It is a little bit harder and it requires a bit more effort on your part to get your foot in the door. If any of you guys have had a different experience, then please share them below. I'm not saying it is not possible, I'm just saying you really have to put in a lot of effort. Also, please chime in if you did an online degree, because I'm sure that would be really helpful for anyone else as well. But I just personally have not seen anyone who has done that. But following the other steps that I've talked about, I do feel like you would be able to get your foot in the door. Snez asked, where is the shirt from? Love it. Thank you, girl. It is from Forever 21, actually. I don't shop there like ever, but I was just randomly perusing the website and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And you know what, y'all, when it comes to like more pieces that I know that are more just on the trendy side, that are not classic basic pieces that I'm going to be grabbing over and over and over again, which I want to be high quality. For the more trendier pieces that I get every now and then, like this top or this dress actually, that's a palm print, I like to go with a little more on the affordable cheap side, just because I know I'm not gonna wear it like over and over and over again. So yeah, this is from Forever 21 and it's a dress and I really like it. I actually got it in a medium because yo girl is thick. My girl Heavens, she asked on Instagram, she said, do you miss the travel at all from public accounting when you went to your different audit clients throughout the day? Honestly say no, I don't miss that. When it came to commuting to different locations like constantly. For those of y'all who've been a longtime viewer of my channel and my like recent accounting content, you know that I would get irritated because I personally like having my own space. Hold on, I'm thirsty. It's because I'm really a creature of habit. As of right now, you know, I've been in my job for 6.5 months and I really enjoy having like my own space, my own desk, I can bring my things there. I know that this is my space. The place that I'm gonna be is consistent, you know, other than the days that I work from home. And so I'm able to, you know, prioritize going to the gym. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. So I can prioritize that. You know, if I need to run errands, I know where I'm gonna be. For me personally, because this is what I've been working towards my entire career, I'm very happy with not having to move from one client to another. I feel a lot more productive to being able to stay in one spot and not having to go here for the morning, then go here in the afternoon because I have teams in the field or whatever. I always described my public accounting life as like a nomad, you know, like someone who doesn't have a home. I know that's really dramatic, but that's how I felt. I felt like I was constantly going from this client here for a few weeks and then I was going to this client over here for, you know, a month or two or whatever. And even though I had like one main client that had my spot there, I still had to go all over the place all the time. It's fun because it's like, oh, I'm so busy. I get to go all these different places. For myself, over the past few years, I don't equate being busy or looking like I'm in a whirlwind as productive. Anyways, long story short, no, I don't miss it. As of right now, and for the past 6.5 months, I have been very, very happy with where I'm at. But let me tell y'all, before you start being like, oh, you know, I wish I had that. Remember, I had done that for, you know, 6 years. Just know that everything takes time and this is where I've always wanted to be. I'm very happy and like very proud of where I am right now. But there was many, many years where I was putting in the work and putting in the time, putting in the hours, going through hard things, going outside of my comfort zone, which I still am now, but I'm saying that all of that has helped lead me to where I am today. That's my personality, that's my perspective. There are some people who really enjoy it, and to each their own. I'm not saying my way is better or that way is better, it's just my preference. It really just depends on your preference as well. I think that I loved it when I was in public accounting because I really did enjoy it. Once things went left, I started not enjoying it as much because I didn't feel like I was adding value in what I was doing, and so that's when it became more of like I hate having to go like all these different places. I'm not getting anything done. I felt like I wasn't adding value, and that was the hardest part for me the last year or year and a half of my career in public accounting. Back then I liked it. I'm happy not having it now. I hope that made sense. That's probably really confusing. Have you traveled any with your industry role besides freaking Europe? Oh, hard eyes. Girl, me too, hard eyes. As of right now, no, I haven't. I knew going into this role that I would have possibly 2-week trips every single quarter, and primarily to Europe because that is the position that I took. So as of now, I have not done any other traveling other than my Europe trip back in February. Fingers crossed that we're going somewhere else this year. I'll talk more about internal audit positions later on. because there are internal audit jobs where you are traveling every single month to different places. For my lifestyle, for what I was looking for, I didn't want to be traveling at that rate. I envy how you maintain balance between work and personal life. Currently, she's working full-time and going to school full-time. Even though she's not able to balance well, she's 3 semesters away from graduating, which is awesome. I am nowhere close to where I want to be, but I am feeling super burnt out. Any suggestions you can pass my way? I think I wanna do a separate video about this in further detail, but what I will say right now is everything takes time. And I know I was definitely at points in my life, and even now at certain points, you know, I would feel burned out, or I would feel like I was losing motivation to continue going. And there's this quote out there that kind of pops up: don't rely solely on motivation, you have to have dedication as well. It doesn't seem very helpful because it's so like intangible, like, okay, just keep your eye on the prize, you know, but really keep your eye on the prize. I definitely felt burnt out a bunch as I was in college, and it was like I'd have moments in time where I was like, is this even worth it? Like, I'm doing all of this right now, like, is it really gonna pan out later on in life? And if I could look back at myself then and tell myself in 2018, you're gonna be really, really happy with where you're at and what you've accomplished so far, you know, that would keep me motivated. Because I would already have that, I would already know I'm gonna be in this spot in 2018. Without knowing that, you have to keep the drive alive in yourself. You have to keep your fire stoked, you have to keep going, you have to envision what it is that you're wanting out of life, or where you're wanting to go, like your purpose in life, which y'all know my purpose for myself was always to be able to depend on myself for anything and to be able to help those I love. And so those 2 things kept me going. Even when I would feel burnt out, you know what, if I felt burnt out, I would take a break. Not a super long break, like I'm not saying take a year off or take a month off or whatever, but you know, if I was studying and I was like, I cannot do this anymore, I'm so over this, like I can't do this one more second, like your mental health and your well-being, self-care is so important. So I would say if you're at that point where you're like, oh, I don't really want to do this right now, you know what, take a little break, like go do something fun for yourself. Like if you are constantly doing just fun things and you're not grinding, we'll talk about that later on, but if you're grinding and you're grinding and you're grinding, which it sounds like you're doing, you need to take a little bit of time. You need to have those rest days. You need to have those days where you're just refocusing or just having fun and enjoying life, you know? So take those days. If that even means just laying on the couch and watching Netflix all day, then do that, you know, do what you need to do for self-care. But once you've done that, get right back up and continue on your path, because you know, and I will tell you, as long as you keep moving forward day by day, you stay dedicated, even when you're not motivated to do something, you will reach your goals. Whatever those goals are, it is going to take time. It is going to take patience, it's gonna take dedication, but you will get there eventually. Right now, it looks pretty good for me, you know, which I am very happy with where I am right now. Not trying to toot my own horn, I'm just trying to share my experience. It took time and it took a lot of hard work. I wish I vlogged all the hard times back in the day, and I actually will make public some of my older vlogs when I was going through some hard times at my mid-tier firm. I'll put them back on public because I don't work there no more. So the crazy ass people who were talking shit about me, I don't care no more because I don't work with you. It was not always easy for me. I had definitely a lot of hard times. I just always knew that at one point in time it's going to pay off. If I play my cards right, number one, I felt like if I'm a good person, that karma comes back to you and good things will happen to you if you just stay on your course, stay in your lane, be good to people, keep moving forward towards your goals. That's what I'll say. I'll do another video more about that. Maybe if I share some more struggles, y'all will see, like, you know, it's not all fun and games, and it wasn't always fun and games. It's just that at some point in time, it's gonna pay off. And you just have to keep believing that. It's 3 more semesters, you got this, girl, you got this. Okay, y'all, so those are all the questions that I'm gonna go over today. I hope this video was helpful. If it was and you enjoy these monthly Q&As, please give the video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to be a part of our Stephie family because we would love to have you. If you have a question that you want me to answer in next month's Q&A, be sure to leave them in the comments below or shoot them over to me on Instagram. And I will see y'all in my next video. Pardonnez-moi. Definitely need to brush up on my French if I'm ever going to France. You know what, I'm just gonna go with it because hashtag ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not gonna be fixing my dress every single time it starts to go down a little bit because ain't nobody got time for that. you're getting a completely new ball game. I'm so bad at this. This way, pretty sure. Hold on, let me think. Yeah, go on, jump up. Come on. What are you doing? Come on, up. Jump up. Good girl, wow. I had to bribe her with this. You're not getting any, you can smell it though. Hey, listen up. Oh girl, don't be spitting in my drink. You don't wanna be on camera? Come here. Come here. Of course, you're gonna see her little booty in the frame, but you don't wanna show your cute face? Them do. Sorry, Juicy is being so funny and distracting. She got her penguin. He wants to sit right here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Wow, you're ferocious. Good job. Oh, you are so tough.